They say marriage is a beautiful thing, but nobody tells you how heavy silence can become when two people forget why they started loving each other. This is the story of Michael, a married man. From the outside, he had everything: a house, a car, a job, and a wife who once used to laugh at all his jokes. But inside, life had become quiet, too quiet. Every morning, Michael woke up, got ready for work, and said the same line he had said for years: "Good morning, Sarah." And she'd reply softly, "Morning, Michael." No smile, no warmth, just routine. They ate breakfast in silence, both scrolling on their phones. It wasn't that they didn't care. They were just tired. Tired of arguing, tired of pretending everything was fine, tired of remembering the past that once felt like magic. Years ago, things were different. Michael and Sarah met in a small cafe. She spilled coffee on him, and he laughed instead of getting angry. That laugh became the start of something beautiful. They talked for hours that day, about everything: music, dreams, childhood. She loved his kindness. He loved her smile. When they got married, everyone said they're perfect for each other. And for a while, they were. They built dreams together: a small apartment, weekend walks, midnight talks. But slowly, real life came in. Bills, deadlines, family pressure, and stress. The laughter faded. The conversations turned into short replies. And the silence grew louder than love. Michael often thought to himself, what happened to us? He wanted to fix it, but didn't know how. Sarah, too, sat at night sometimes staring at old wedding photos, asking herself, where did that man go? The one who made me laugh even on my worst days. But neither of them said it aloud. Pride kept their lips closed. Fear kept their hearts apart. One Sunday morning, Michael decided to take a walk alone. It was raining softly. He walked through the park they used to visit together. The bench where they once shared ice cream was empty. The tree where he had carved their initials was still there, M+S. He touched it gently. For the first time in years, he whispered her name with love: Sarah. He remembered their first fight, how she cried, and how he had held her hand, saying, "We'll never go to bed angry." But now they went to bed angry almost every week. Some nights they slept back to back, not out of hate, but out of habit. That afternoon, he sat in a small cafe, thinking about everything. He saw a young couple laughing, sharing a slice of cake, and something inside him hurt. He missed them. Not the young couple, but the version of himself that used to laugh like that. Suddenly, he took out his phone and typed, "How to fix a broken marriage." He smiled bitterly, realizing how strange it sounded, but he read article after article, each one saying the same thing: talk, listen, appreciate, start again. It sounded simple, but could it really work? That evening, Michael came home early. Sarah was cooking, surprised to see him. He walked up to her and said, "Can we talk?" She looked confused. About what? He hesitated, then said quietly, "About us." For a moment, silence filled the kitchen. She nodded slowly, and they sat down at the dining table, the same table that had seen years of silence. Michael took a deep breath and said, "I miss you." Her eyes softened. "You do?" He nodded. "I know we've both been busy, tired, maybe even angry, but I miss the woman who made me laugh when life was hard. I miss our long talks. I miss being your best friend." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She said, "I miss that too, Michael. I miss us." For a few seconds, neither spoke. Then he reached out his hand. She hesitated, then took it. That small touch felt like 1,000 words. From that night, they began again, not perfectly, but honestly. They started small. They had coffee together every morning, no phones, just conversation. They went on short evening walks. They cooked together on weekends, laughing at burnt toast and messy sauce. It wasn't like before. It was better, slower, deeper, real. Sometimes they still argued, but now they ended their fights with hugs, not silence. Michael learned that love doesn't die easily. It just needs attention. And Sarah learned that sometimes the strongest love is the one that stays even when it's hard. Months passed. Their home felt alive again. The laughter returned, the warmth returned. One night, as they sat on the balcony watching the sunset, Sarah said, "Do you remember our wedding vows?" Michael smiled. "How could I forget? I said I'd love you through good and bad days." She smiled back. "Well, I think we've seen both." They both laughed quietly. It wasn't the loud laughter of youth. It was softer, wiser, the kind that comes after pain, forgiveness, and understanding. One day, their son, now grown up, asked Michael, "Dad, how do you keep a marriage strong for so many years?" Michael smiled and said, "Son, marriage isn't about being happy every day. It's about never stopping to try. Love is not a feeling that stays. It's a choice you make every morning." The boy nodded, quietly taking in the words, and Michael looked at Sarah across the room. She was arranging flowers near the window, sunlight touching her hair. He smiled, not because everything was perfect, but because everything was real. Years later, after their children moved out, Michael and Sarah sat together in that same old cafe where they first met. The waiter asked, "How long have you two been together?" Michael smiled, "Almost 30 years." The waiter laughed. "Wow, what's the secret?" Michael looked at Sarah and said, "The secret is, there is no secret. Just two imperfect people who decided to never stop choosing each other." Sarah squeezed his hand gently and whispered, "Still my favorite coffee partner." He smiled, "Always." As they walked out of the cafe, hand in hand, the world around them seemed slower, quieter, but their hearts were light. Michael realized something that night. Love doesn't fade when we get older. It fades when we stop caring. But if you water it, even after years, it blooms again. And sometimes, the most romantic story isn't about falling in love. It's about staying in love. So, if you ever feel your relationship losing its spark, remember this story of a married man. A man who lost his way, found his heart again, and learned that real love doesn't leave. It just waits, patiently, for you to return to it.